Thank you for watching Meatsauce Monty. I'm Matt Montgomery. He's Paul Meatsauce Lambert. The most independent, highly rated sports show on the CW Sunday mornings with the Catholic Mass lead-in. We just crush it with that Catholic Mass crowd, don't we?
That's before us?
Yeah.
Do they know that?
I don't think so.
Man.
If they did, they'd be like, can we change our time slot?
I'll be with you. And they go, not with that show. Isn't that what you say? I haven't been in a
Sure.
while.
You don't go? You're...
No.
All right.
I mean, you do you. But
Yeah. The
I
Sunday
look
morning
weird
guy.
walking into a church by myself, you know? And be like,
Yeah.
ugh, what the heck?
Yeah. I won't touch that one. What's the best compliment you've ever got about our show?
I don't know how Matt puts up with you. I don't know how Matt does all the work and you literally do nothing. And I'm like,
Did you get that from your dad?
no, I got it from a couple of my buddies who
You're
watch
kidding.
it. No, I'm
You're
dead
kidding.
serious. But they've known me for 30 years, so they know I just...
Yeah. You show up and you just be you.
Yeah.
And it works.
Sometimes.
You are the Chris Farley and I'm the David Spade. You just show up and it works.
That's way too much of a compliment for yourself, but...
okay.
Thanks,
The best compliment that I got this last week, I saw a gentleman in my small town of Cannon Falls, and he said he started watching the show, and I said, honestly, what do you think? And he goes, I laughed my ass off.
Oh,
he goes,
sweet,
I don't
man.
care if you talk about the Vikings at all. He said, it's just so funny.
That's awesome.
I said, it made me think, I know we've talked about this so many times, but we are independent. We can say what we want, do what we want. I love that freedom because everybody else, their teleprompter, their scripted stuff, their stories that they're waiting to tease.
I'm scripted over there.
Yeah. You can read? No.
Contrary to prior belief, yes.
The rest of those pregame shows on whatever local station, it's like, hey, thanks for watching this week. We did that. We've been there. This is so much more liberating.
Yeah, they let me wear
love
jeans that have a giant rip in them where you can see my undies.
Yeah.
Stop looking, weirdo.
Well, you pointed right down there.
Yeah, that doesn't mean look.
You know, people at home have 4K TVs. They're going to be zooming in now.
my brother's going, ugh.
Yeah, so he's going to pause it and zoom in on the smart TV. Now you're going to be all self-conscious. All right. Maybe you should start wearing a T-shirt and get
No. This shirt's lumpy enough. My body looks like unstirred mashed potatoes.
Unstirred mashed potatoes? Yeah. I've given you grief about the no T-shirt probably
I'd
for
never
4
wear
years.
a T-shirt.
And I know you haven't.
I hate wearing a T-shirt.
You be
I don't
you.
like, yeah.
I like layers.
If we were like out of the town, I'd have one more button done.
Undone?
Yeah, man.
You said,
I don't care.
if we were out on the town,
I'm proud of who I am.
I like it.
Yeah, I don't care.
Where would we go if we were out on the town?
The Loon.
Downtown Minneapolis is your vibe?
Yeah, it's the only place I don't. That's the
Are
only
you
place
a
I go
regular
out.
there?
Yeah.
Do people see you and like, oh, it's Meatsauce?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Where else am I gonna go?
I don't know. Where
else
do you
am I
go?
gonna talk about the same 6 things over and over again?
Me, every week, every Thursday and Sunday morning.
Well played.
Yeah, thank you. All right, should we talk Vikings?
We can.
They're 9-4.
Yeah.
The Los Angeles Chargers, I still think of them the San Diego Chargers, but that's just my fault. They're 5-8. They're out. Let's go. Last week, though, 27 win over Detroit. The Vikings remains perfect at home, 6-0. That Detroit game, I got to say, did not care at all. And here's why. I'm going to go to the Kirk Cousins quote. He said it was a weird one. Either you don't get it done and it becomes a problem, or you slug your shoulders and win and move on. I feel like a lot of fans felt that way. It was just one of those games where you're like, nah, yeah, you beat Detroit. That's great.
Yeah, I was there.
We held serve.
It was really boring. It was the most boring NFL game I've ever been to. But on the other hand, fans and people are going to go, well, how's a win boring?
Yeah.
That just was boring. You could tell once the Vikings went up in that, right before the second half, when Danielle Hunter sacked Blau
for the third
time. And we got him out of field goal range. We got the ball back and we scored.
Yeah.
That's it.
That sealed the deal.
I get it. I know everybody will go, well, they're paid. I get that.
Yeah.
It's just human nature. We're not going to win. We have no shot of beating this Minnesota Vikings team. We're literally going to go through the motions and we don't want anyone to get hurt. That's all it was.
And that's what it turned
into.
They
scored that junk touchdown at the end.
Yeah.
But other than that, there was never a point in that game where we're going, well, this is Buffalo all over again. Or this is Denver all over again. It just
nobody was
nervous.
Was
a boring game, but it's good that they won.
Yeah.
This game today is way more important, and the teams, I don't know, man. This is a really good football team that they're playing today, and they're really healthy all of a sudden.
We'll do our picks at the end of the show after our interview with Leo Lewis, after our talk around the league. I'm going to try to hold you to it, though. I think it was last week or even maybe the week before for picks, and you're like, the Vikings are going to win out. And you just.
I think they will.
Well, we'll save it for the end of the show, but if you said you might be a little nervous, so we'll delve into that a little bit more. The quote from Mike Zimmer. He said, I want our team to have our chip on our shoulders. I wish we wouldn't have let them score. Do you think, okay, like you said, pretty boring. A lot of the fans, like, it was a win.
Yeah, a lot of fans
You think
left
the shutout would have
halfway.
made it mean something more?
No. I mean, maybe
Only
to
to Zimmer?
maybe to the Zimmer or a couple of the guys on the defense, or maybe it's, some kind of internal bonus that they get. I don't know. But I mean, I get it.
Internal bonus.
Well, is that the word?
I don't know, but it sounds interesting.
I mean, like,
What kind of
I don't
internal
mean like,
bonus
I
do
don't
you
mean
want?
like they shut the team out and then all the fans are like, here's $10. I mean, like, they go in, or maybe it's in like a contract.
Yeah,
I don't know. Shocking.
I know
My
that.
body type didn't work well for the NFL, so I never made it.
You didn't get the internal
But
bonus.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't think anybody cares. Video games, maybe stats
Yeah.
at the end of the year.
Sure.
Like, no one has ever gone, man. Bill Belichick's a great coach. How many shutouts does he
Yeah.
have?
It's a
like,
que-
no one cares.
It's a
just
question that gets asked if he was on our show.
Ego
for an-
thing. Yeah.
You know, you do the research and you're like, oh wow, you had that many shutouts. Cool.
Yeah.
And then
I
that's
would
it.
never
It
know
just
that.
moves on.
'Cause I'm not doing that.
Was there anything, Dalvin Cook? He returned. You think he's 100%? I mean,
Yeah, I think
his
he's
stat line was
100%.
solid.
Yeah.
They used him wisely. They didn't say, oh, he's back. He's out. Let's run him down.
I think he's 100%. I think
Okay.
that was their game plan.
Yeah.
And I think the Vikings have really gotten good at using guys until they literally have thought, well, there's no point in putting him in anymore.
Sure.
I mean, we saw some of the backups to the backups play at running back who do great stuff on
Yeah.
special teams. I just thought
Yeah.
they went, we need him down the stretch. They're going to need him today. They're going to need him 100% a week from Monday.
Yeah.
And they're going to need him to beat Chicago.
Yeah.
Because if Chicago, as everybody wants, and a lot of people think, and I think Vegas, I think the money's kind of shifting towards Chicago. I think
Are you saying they're
Chicago,
game against
I think
Green
they
Bay
beat
today?
Green Bay today.
That's in our Around the League chat. You're getting
Oh.
way off subject here.
Whatever.
Yeah,
Anyhow,
around the league,
but
it's one of our favorite subjects.
I think that Dalvin Cook was used perfectly, and they know that they need him, and they're not going to play him when they don't need to play him, and they've gotten really good at that.
Obviously, no secret here. Thursday Night Lights, Mystic Lake. Sunday morning, CW. Adam Thielen. You have any inside steam? How he's doing his progress?
I mean, he would have played 2 weeks ago had he not not ruptured, that's the wrong word, but like, had he not pulled it again, he will 100% play if he
pulled
can.
it again?
Well, I mean, yeah, sick. The Catholic Mass
I'm
is
just
really
saying-
mad at you, man.
I'm just saying what you said.
Whatever he did,
as
if he
your-
pulled his hamstring, if
careful.
he doesn't do that again, then he'll play. He'll play, and they need him.
Yeah.
Because if
think
there
they
was
need him?
even an inkling where they're, they
Against the
need him
Chargers
against
defense?
this team. Yeah.
Really?
With Derwin James back there, maybe
See-
the best young safety in the league.
Nice. Deep-
Bosa, Ingram, all those other guys
See,
that
now
they
you-
have. Man, hey, yeah.
I'm more worried about their offense, to be
Yeah.
honest. I mean,
this is the best 5-8 team in the league.
They put up 45 points last week against Jacksonville. I know Jacksonville's not that
Jacksonville's
great.
terrible.
I get it, but still, if you're going to get in a shootout with this team, I'd be more worried about their offense than their defense.
Yeah, we need Thielen. We need everybody, man. It's the end of the year. You can't not. Yeah,
So-
This isn't the second game of the year.
Do you think that anything is off the table for the Chargers, the fact that they're eliminated from the playoffs? Do you think that all of a sudden these guys are already thinking of their big vacations and all that stuff? So it's one of those games where I hate to use all the cliches, but if the Vikings show up early, if they get up 10 or 14 in the first quarter, that this other team is just going to fold it up and just go through the motions much like Detroit did. Or, because they're eliminated from the playoff scene, but like you said, they're 5-8. They've lost almost all these games. 8 of these losses, 7 points or less. They're in every game.
Yeah, I think the thing with the Chargers, and especially this game, is it's going to be a lot of Vikings fans. Vikings fans travel.
Yeah.
A lot of people are off work till the end of the year. It's that kind of thing. There'll be a lot of
I need
Vikings
a job
fans
like that.
there. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You too, that'd be.
Yeah, it'd be great. I don't know if
sweet.
U2's hiring, but yeah. So I think that this is a kind of game where you got to get up early. But also the thing too is, from some of the people I've talked to that know I'm okay, one person, Ben Lieber, this could be Phillip Rivers' last 3 games. You think that guy's going to roll over? No way.
No.
This guy knows that it could be over. I think that if he plays bad, we could see Tyrod Taylor. Like he's thrown so many interceptions that I thought he'd be benched by now. You just get up on him early and then you get him to go, whatever. That's all you got to do.
I get it. Season long, his whole body of work, interceptions might be the highest.
Yeah.
He's coming off He's 38 years old. He's coming off his highest quarterback or passer rating game of his career against Jacksonville. So it's not like obviously he hit his physical peak. He's 38.
Yeah.
But he can still put together solid games. They're not going to bench him for Tyrod Taylor.
Well, they might
if he's injured.
No, but
why would they ever bench Philip Rivers?
Have you watched it? Philip Rivers has been awful all year.
I have him on fantasy.
But sure, last week he was okay.
Come on.
Last week he was all right, but he's been, what did he throw, 4 or 5 interceptions 2 weeks ago?
Was that the Chiefs game?
Yeah, I mean, how many interceptions does he have on the season?
I don't know on the season.
A lot.
I don't have
a lot. I bet at least 15.
Enough to put Tyrod Taylor in there?
If that's anybody but Philip Rivers, if that's Eli got benched, you think they're going to go, sorry, Philip, Matt Montgomery has you on his fantasy team. We're not going to bench him. Of course, Philip Rivers sucks.
I want to see that headline.
He's not good. I'm telling you, man, if he continues to play okay, they will bench him. No one's unbenchable. No one.
I understand that. I agree.
Except for maybe John Randall.
Okay, unbenchable. John
Because
Randall.
it's his birthday today.
Yeah. It is?
Yeah.
We've had him on the show for his
Yeah.
birthday before.
Yeah.
We sang and
Yeah.
had cake and all that. You can watch it on YouTube. Yeah. He's your close personal friend.
He's a good friend. He's the best.
You probably went out for breakfast with him.
Yeah, I have, yeah.
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 All right. So the playoffs can't clinch. We'll do our picks at the end. The Vikings cannot clinch today. Rams and Bears are behind. We'll talk a little bit more about that in the Around the League. Off of what's happening today, Kyle Rudolph been nominated as the Walter Payton Man of the Year award for the 3rd consecutive time for the Vikings. I know that local TV stations are going to do a story on this. If you read that story on the Vikings website and do not shed a tear, it is one of the best stories. The fact that he talked about the bracelet that he wears on his hand for this young 9-year-old girl, Megan, who beat cancer. She's dealing with heart disease. An amazing story of the bond between them, the picture that he shared. He's a close personal friend of yours, or at least you've gone golfing and you make people think he's a close personal friend. What is it, do you think, for Kyle Rudolph to be nominated for a 3rd consecutive year?
I think it means the world to him. I think him and his wife do a really good job of knowing what they've been given and knowing the opportunity that they have. And how wonderful, their life is, and they've deserved it. Kyle's worked hard. Jordan, his wife, has worked hard. But they're really good at setting an example for the young guys. And Kyle, a lot of people, and it's just the world we live in, the Twitter world and the instant reaction world there's a lot of people like, well, you do it because you have to. First off, he doesn't have to do anything.
Yeah.
Kyle, Bill Gates, anybody who has money doesn't have to do anything.
Right.
I mean, Khalil Mack the other day went into the Walmart in his hometown and bought everybody's layaway.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there are people going, 80 grand, that's it. He doesn't have to.
He didn't have to do a thing.
Khalil Mack doesn't have to give you $1.
Yep.
But he did. And
He
I
did.
think that it means a lot. I know it means a lot to Kyle. And Kyle is such a good human being. I mean, you saw after the game, he gave the pair of shoes to that kid. If there were no cameras around, he'd still do it.
Yeah.
Kyle is a perfect example of some of the athletes that the Vikings have drafted, brought into their system, and made into these really good human beings, because that's what they are at the end of the day. They're human beings.
You're right.
And they're just really good guys, and a lot of his teammates follow. I mean, I don't know if you listened to it, but yesterday or 2 days ago when we did Toys for Tots, PA had Laquan Treadwell on. The difference Laquan Treadwell has made in 4 years, and the man that he's become, like all of us who at 21, just whatever.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable to listen to him and how much his life has changed since he was a #1 overall pick that didn't really work out to right now. It was great to hear, and that's the kind of culture the Vikings have, and they should be really proud of that. And Kyle 100% should win it. And if he doesn't, he'll still continue to do it. That's why he's a good thing. Yes, correct.
All right. Wonderful. All right, we're going to have Leo Lewis come up here in just a minute. We're going to take care of this first. Here at Mystic, Keith Sweat. He's a sultry singer, and he'll perform spellbinding hits about matters of the heart. He's renowned as the Casanova of R&B. In the 90s, he helped usher in that sensual R&B music movement, 80s and 90s. His hits, I'll Give All My Love to You, Make You Sweat, and Twisted. You can experience a nostalgic event with that legendary R&B icon. Yeah, Keith Sweat.
You all right?
I'm okay.
After reading that?
Yeah.
You're a little sweaty.
Todd wrote this. I don't know.
Yeah, Todd's going.
The Man in Black. Sean Barker stars as the Man in Black, a tribute to Johnny Cash, an accurate and energetic recreation of an American music icon. He brings the legend of Johnny Cash back to life with strikingly similar looks, voice, and spot-on mannerisms. Barker delivers Cash's raw prowess and signature sound to the stage. His one-of-a-kind tribute concert, fans will see the unforgettable performances of Walk the Line, Ring of Fire, Hurt, and many others. Johnny Cash, yeah.
Sweet.
The Man in Black. All right. Without any further hesitation, let's welcome to the stage Leo Lewis. thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure, my pleasure.
Don't worry, man.
Good to see you guys.
11 seasons in the NFL, mostly with the Vikings, a little stint there with Cleveland.
Right.
One of the questions we ask a lot of guys, how has the game changed? Wide receiver, how do you think the game has changed from the 80s, early 90s to today?
Well, you know, when I was playing in the 80s, we had a lot of small, quick wide receivers. Not to say that you don't have. One of my good buddies is the receiver with Kansas City, the really small number 10.
Tyreek Hill?
Unbelievable.
Speed.
But now I think, and as it always has been, the tall, lanky receiver who can catch that out-of-bounds pass with his toes still in.
Yeah.
I think clubs still go for those kind.
Yeah.
And I think it was Randy Moss was the first kind of guy that you were like, whoa.
Yeah.
When you get these big 6'4", 6'5" guys that can run down the field. But as long as you can run routes, that seems to be the thing now with social media is they always show Stephon and Adam Thielen, who aren't the biggest dudes,
That's right.
but they run great routes.
Well, that helped me be able to run routes, know what
Yeah.
I'm doing out there, and obviously catch the ball. You know, Randy is a little different because he can do all of those things and still jump high and catch the ball. So he was really much different than any other receivers I've seen with the Vikings.
One of the things I always like to ask people of your generation, Bud Grant,
Yeah.
Jerry Burns. Bud Grant is renowned. Vikings fans absolutely love him.
Yeah.
But I almost say that Jerry Burns doesn't get as much credit as he
Of course.
deserves. And Chuck Foreman is one of the people that talks about Jerry was just the way he would talk to you on the sideline, the way he would motivate you, the things he would say. Do you have any Jerry Burns stories?
Oh, I've got a lot of them. I don't know if I can say them all here. But, you know, again, we all really looked up to Jerry. He was an offensive coordinator, but Jerry went to 6 Super Bowls, 2 with the Packers and 4 with the Vikings.
Wow.
So he's got much more experience than anybody would ever have. But at the same time, he knew how to motivate you. And I think he was just so cunning in that he was just a great coach. He had good schemes. He could put people in the right places. And, you know, he came out with 4 receivers before many coaches ever even thought about that.
That whole West Coast offense that they gave Bill Walsh credit for.
Of course.
A lot of people are going back and saying that should have been Burnsy that got credit for that.
Yeah, he was even there before Don Coryell came out with his air scheme, so to speak, with 3 wide receivers. So I hold him a lot of credit, and obviously he kept me on the team for a little bit and believed in me as well. So it was good to have him coach us.
What was it like playing in an offense like that?
Well, I tell you what, because I'm a receiver and we use the backs kind of like receivers too, our first mindset was to throw the ball, not to necessarily run the ball. So it was good to have a coach like that because he thought pass first.
Yeah.
And if a pass was only going to be 4 or 5 yards, that's great. He really incorporated the passing game within a run scheme or a run philosophy.
You were on the '89 team that went into San Francisco and won, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How was that?
I tell you what, you know, we were coming off of the strike. I think that was a strike year. But anyway, we were always underdogs.
Yeah.
Whenever we went to San Francisco was in their heyday. And I just think that any time that we were able to be on the national stage and beat people, it was great because we were always underachievers when it came to the minds of the media. And then at the same time, it was tough to win in Candlestick Park at the time.
Yeah. Who was the toughest cornerback or safety that you ever had to go up against?
I tell you what, I played against Darryl Green.
Wow.
Which would probably be the best because he was my size, and you know, corners that were my size usually were able to keep up with me. You know, I can really juke and get away from the bigger corners, but he definitely was the best.
Very fast too, if I remember.
You know, I played against Deion Sanders, who was really early in his career. And I think not anyone except for Darryl Green, I believe, was the best corner that I played against.
And maybe the fastest corner of all time.
Of course, he was the fastest in the NFL at the time.
Yeah.
At that time, they had sprint races for the fastest NFL players, and he won all the time.
In season or off season?
Off season.
Yeah,
I think
so
they-
in shape, and then you don't
I
have to
think
worry
they
about
did
injuries.
a bit, maybe it was 94, 95, 96, one of these drafts where they had Darryl Green show the rookies how to run the 40, and he ran like a sub 4.2 in like loafers. It was unbelievable.
It was good to see him. I saw him at the Super Bowl when it was in Miami, and I mean in Minneapolis, and it was always good to kind of see those guys off the field.
Yeah.
You know, after all the years that we've played against them, and at the same time, you respect someone like that. He's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Tommy Kramer was here, I think, week 1 of our show this year, and He's a very funny guy too. He told a lot of good stories. When we asked him who his favorite wide receiver was, he says the open one. So what was
open one?
The open one.
Who was that?
I don't. He just said the open. Whoever's open.
Well, I
What was
tell
it
you
like?
what, Tommy was so smart as a quarterback. I mean, it didn't matter if the ball wobbled all the time. It got there.
Yeah.
And it got there when you needed it. So I believe that. The one that was open.
The one that was
believe
open.
that.
I mean, a guy like Tommy Kramer, you put him, let's just say Tommy Kramer plays in the NFL that it is today, minus the money, obviously.
Right.
But he'd be a Pro Bowler if
Yeah.
he played in like the way that the NFL style now, where it's just it's fast break, NBA style up
Yeah.
and down the field. He would have been elite at that.
He would have loved it.
Yeah.
I don't know if he could have gotten away from defenders as much as some of these quarterbacks do, but Tom Brady can't get away from defenders.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
So we probably would have put in a scheme where get the ball out quick, Tommy.
Yeah.
And he would have been able to do that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
After your playing days were done, you spent time with staying with the Vikings organization, player
Yep.
development. Do you have some good stories from that? Where some of the people what was your job as player development, and who
Yeah.
did you see come up through in the 90s and early 2000s?
Well, you know what? That was the time when we finally got NFL free agency, and the NFL at the time was really starting to hire former players. Scott Studwell started the year
Yeah.
before I did.
Right.
I came in, and then they expanded the scouting department because of free agency. We had to now look at former players or players on the street who we could sign as free agents. So they developed a pro scouting department, and that's where I started. And then they developed this player development piece where they really felt that we needed to provide more resources for current players. Have them really think seriously about taking care of their families, going back to school.
Yeah.
That's unheard of nowadays. Guys are so entrepreneurial that to go back to school is you can barely get them to finish a bowl game,
Right.
So as a player, teammates, Hassan Jones,
Yeah.
Anthony Carter, and then when you're in the development, you got to see Chris Carter.
Yeah.
You got to see rookie Randy Moss.
Of course.
What was that like?
And Jake Reed, it was great
Yeah,
that they all
3D.
kind of culminated their careers together. I think Randy's best years were his first 5 with Minnesota. And, I played with Chris a little bit. He is probably the most passionate player that I have met. And at the same time, Randy Moss never missed a practice. And people thought that he had this laissez-faire way of approaching football. He just wanted to win.
Yeah.
And but I think we have to go way back to when I played with Ahmad Rashad and Sammy White and Joe Sensor, and that was a heck of an experience to be able to play with those guys.
What was your first impression of Randy Moss when you first saw him? Were you
Well, like everybody, we
how
thought
did
he was
get
arrogant.
him? Yeah.
And we were fortunate, though. I think, give Denny Green credit. He used a draft choice on Randy Moss when a lot of teams really didn't think that he had the fortitude to be able to be a great one. I think they knew he had the talent, but I think the one thing that I thought was he was a very arrogant but confident player, and he just needed to go out and show it. And we just knew right away that he was the guy that he thought he was.
I think he tears up every time he brings up Denny Green.
Yeah.
That's how much Denny meant to him.
Right.
Denny gave him a chance that a lot of people wouldn't. And I think the debt of gratitude that he feels for Denny Green is awesome.
Right, and Denny liked to develop players. He liked young players, and certainly Randy was a developmental project, and it was good that they both had good sense to really kind of meld this relationship togetger and win some championships.
Absolutely.
Leo, thank you so
my
much for the
pleasure,
time.
man.
We appreciate it.
No doubt.
Leo
no doubt.
Lewis.
Thank you.
All right.
Again, thanks to Leo Lewis. He was great. Chris
always
Tucker
great.
is going to be touring across the country, entertaining audiences with his hilarious stand-up comedy. He's no stranger to the stage. Tucker was a fan favorite of the HBO series Def Comedy Jam in the 90s. He starred and produced his first stand-up comedy special, Chris Tucker Live, back on Netflix in 2015. He's best known for his roles in Friday and the Rush Hour film series. He's going to be coming here to Mystic. Chris
super
Tucker is
funny.
very funny.
Super
Friday
funny,
is,
yeah.
I would say, iconic.
It's a great film.
Absolutely.
Super good.
Let's go around the league.
Sweet.
The Bears-Packers.
Yeah.
That game, there's going to be a lot of Vikings fans that are watching that one. Playoff implications, they're not clinching on Sunday. However, if the Bears can beat the Packers, there's a chance. There's a chance that the Vikings could climb all the way up, possibly even to a 2. There's still a chance they could get a bye. But if they can get ahead of the Packers, they at least get to host a game on Wild Card Weekend.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, and I think a lot of the Sharks, as I said earlier in the show in Vegas, think the Bears and Packers always play each other close.
Yeah.
No matter what the records are of the team. Is it the oldest rivalry in the NFL? Or one of them? Doesn't
One
matter.
of them at least.
We'll just say that it is. It's
Sure.
the oldest rivalry in the NFL.
It's our show. You can say it.
So I think it'll be a great game, and I think that the Bears still hold out hope that they can make a wild card.
Yeah?
Albeit a small hope, but this is the only shot the Vikings have to win the division if
Yep.
the Packers lose on Saturday, because then they play the Lions. They're not losing to the Lions.
Yeah, correct.
And if the Packers lose on Sunday before the Vikings play, the Vikings will slaughter the Chargers.
It'll be rough.
Yep.
All right. Around the league, Patriots get caught cheating yet again.
Yeah.
We're talking filming the Cincinnati Bengals. They had a 3-camera crew set. They're claiming, Belichick was saying, no, they're independent contractors. They have nothing to do with us. Your thoughts? We're talking Spygate, Deflategate, and now we've got this.
Are
they cheaters?
Yeah,
Natural
of course
born
they
cheaters?
are. They are, but nothing ever happens to them. They lose a draft pick. Who cares? They don't draft in the first round anyway.
Belichick was fined one time $500,000.
They don't care. That doesn't
Yeah.
mean anything. But they never get in. It's like did you do that? Yeah. Well, go to your room for 5 minutes. That doesn't do anything.
It didn't work for you? Timeouts?
No, the only time it ever worked for me is if either my
They took away food.
She put me in the she never did that. She put me in the corner, or she put me in the basement and locked the door.
Ouch,
I hated
that's
the
brutal.
basement. Yeah.
Turn the lights off?
I hated no.
Scare of the dark?
No.
No?
I just hated the basement.
I'm just trying.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I don't like the dark either.
Okay. Another thing with the Patriots, Patrick Mahomes' girlfriend went on social media, claimed she was harassed at Gillette Stadium by Patriots fans. Now, that was her claim. It got a little traction in the media. When I looked at it, it didn't sound like they were really that. We're talking about Vikings fans in Philly a couple years ago, the beer cans getting thrown at them, all that stuff. This was like, oh, hey, that's the girlfriend, let's yell at her. It wasn't really that, it didn't seem that bad.
How is she not in a suite?
That's what I would have thought, yeah.
And I'm so tired of the Patriots. I hope they. Yeah. I hope the Ravens. No, whatever. I don't know. You
can say whatever.
But they're playing as we
Thursday
tape
night.
this.
Yeah.
I hope the Ravens get. I hope the Ravens get the number 1 seed, and I hope somehow the Patriots don't win their division. The Patriots.
Somehow, some way.
The Patriots. They're so overrated.
Somebody else hates the
They're not
Patriots.
even that good of a team this year.
Yeah.
But
their offense is struggling.
They played 8 cupcakes.
Yeah.
The league loves them, though. That's the problem.
You like cupcakes.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's do our picks.
Yeah.
Let's say our goodbyes. I'm going to say that the Vikings win a squeaker. I think this is going to be like 24-21. I think it's going to be close. You think it's going to be what?
I think the Vikings win 24-10.
Ooh.
But it also could go the other way. So it's not something.
Yeah, but you picked a week ago that they're going to win
out. I think they'll win out. They will
have
win
to
out.
stand by that.
Yeah, they'll win 24-10.
All right.
Because the Bears will lose to the Packers.
Sounds good.
Thanks,
all right.
babe.
Don't forget Twitter, Instagram, whatever Todd does.
Yeah, whatever
social media.
You go to,
no, the websites.
Scott
we're not on the websites
Scott
you go to.
chat roulette, so just send prank shots to Scott.
All right. That's going to do it. We'll see you back here next week.